Go there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So,
yes, you're ready.
I'm sorry, for attendance, should I say that there's just, is John Metcalf on here yet? No. Councillor Metcalf is still not with us. So we do have quorum. I don't know what all these initials mean, so maybe somebody could help me out if everybody is here. That should be except for Councillor Metcalf, is that correct?
That is correct. The CT is our clerk's department recording this morning. And then LF is our Lori Friesen from Haldeman County.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And then we have Jennifer Snell, which is a program manager for Children's Services.
Okay, thank you. So are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this morning? See none. Any additions to the agenda? None. Do we have any presentations or deputations? I see none. So we have adoption of correction of the advisory committee meeting minutes. 4.1 Health and Social Services Advisory Committee, February the 27th, 2023. Are there any questions? No, none. Could I get motion to pass those? Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Can I get a seconder, please? Thank you very much. All in favor of those adoptions? All in favor? Thank you. Are there any update on reports?
Hi, through you, Mayor Bentley. The reports that went to council were approved from the previous advisory meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Consent items. I don't see any under consent items. Staff reports. 7.1 General Manager. 7.2 Public Health. 7.3 Social Services and Housing, and a 7.3.1 Licensed Home Child Care Service Agreement. Do we have any questions or concerns about those reports? Oh, Councillor?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just one little thing I'd like to mention, that Syed no longer has the word acting in front of his job title. So I'd like to offer congratulations to him.
Well, congratulations, Syed.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Anything else? Any further comments, questions? I don't see any. Can I have a mover, please, for these reports?
Oh, Linda, Councillor Van Adrucci had a question.
Oh, sorry. Hard to see. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying not to be in the dark. Usually I tend to be in the dark here. But anyway, I have a couple of questions. What this does is permits those home cares to be into the system type of deal in that way. I guess Stephanie, I'll ask you. Yeah. That way, if there's subsidies or certain things that can happen for them as well. Is that what this is all about?
Yeah, actually, through you, Mayor Bentley, to members of the committee, I'm going to ask Jen Snell to turn her camera on and just give a brief overview of the report. I think that would probably be helpful and might answer some of the questions. And then if there are questions after Jen presents, then we can absolutely answer those for you. Go ahead, Jen, if you're ready. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Good morning and thank you. Through Mayor Bentley to the members of the committee, I'm happy to be here to speak to the licensed home child care agreement. Before I start, I just would like to note that report indicates that the draft service agreement and licensed home child care schedule would be attached to the report as was requested. The schedule is still being finalized, so I was not able to provide it for this morning's meeting. So the recommendations are that council receive this report as information, authorize a single source procurement of licensed home child care services of 18 months with the current agency, Today's Family, and that Children's Services work with Purchasing Services to issue a competitive bidding opportunity in 2024 following the release of the Ministry of Education's new childcare funding formula. To provide some greater context, licensed home childcare provides families the option of accessing care in a smaller home setting, often with greater flexibility in hours, where evening and weekend care can be provided. In addition to parent choice, licensed home childcare has the ability to meet the needs of rural and more remote communities where a larger childcare center would not be viable. Just to provide a bit more detail, licensed home care providers that are contracted with Today's Family are overseen by a home visitor. So unlike unlicensed home childcare, licensed home childcare has oversight. So Today's Family is licensed with the Ministry of Education and provides oversight of those homes. So there's home inspections, there's regulations that are met. They receive a decal from the Ministry of Education that identifies them as being a licensed home provider. So as part of the Canada-wide early learning and childcare system, expansion is a significant focus. Licensed childcare is a crucial component of our expansion plan within Haldimand and Norfolk counties. And it's important that we maintain stability within this sector of childcare as we proceed with expansion and navigate the changes with the ministry's new funding formula in 2024. So the current service agreement with Today's Family, our current home childcare agency, ends on April 28th of 2023 with the implementation of the new childcare funding formula in 2024, continuing with a partnership with Today's Family will provide stability and continuity to support growth and recruitment within this sector of childcare during a time of transition with anticipated changes with our funding. An 18-month service agreement will provide Children's Services the opportunity to learn the new funding formula, process those changes, and implement new requirements within the childcare sector. We believe this time frame will within this time frame, we will be in a better position to proceed with an RFP and enter into a longer-term service agreement. I'm happy to answer any other questions if there are any.
I have, Madam Chair, I have a couple, if you don't mind, if we could entertain. Can I ask how many licensed home child care we have in both Haldimand and Norfolk?
Yes, through Mayor Bentley. Currently, we have 10 licensed home child care providers between the two counties. I think it's pretty evenly split. It might be 4 in Haldimand and 6 in Norfolk, but it's pretty close to evenly split. And we are currently working on recruitment of additional home child care providers.
That was, you anticipated my question. It doesn't seem like enough. When I look at how many actual daycares we have in the area, I'm a big proponent of daycare, always have been. I challenged a couple of mayors 100 years ago on that. But anyway, at the end of the day, we have some, which I'm pleased about, but we've lost some. Say, for instance, I think it's important that in our villages and towns that we have a daycare service somehow. And I'm hoping for in the future that we look at some ways of bringing, like, say, for instance, I'll take Delhi, for example. We had behind the arena, we had the daycare back there, and it worked out. And then of course, we had COVID and everything else happened, whatever. But we should be looking for new daycare spaces of buildings available to create daycare. It's crucial. So I'm a very big proponent, and if I have some ideas and come back, you'll hear from me, because I just believe in it so much. You know what I mean? So, but 10 is not enough, far from enough. In it would be better if we have I don't want to call them institutional, but brick and mortar, more buildings that we can offer our daycare in and have great daycare for our families in the area. So 10 is not enough. So if you're out there recruiting, keep going. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you very much, Councillor. I agree totally. We definitely need more daycare spaces available in Haldimand and Norfolk. We have long commuters in both of our counties, and there really is a need for having some daycare. Absolutely. And 10 is not enough. 30 maybe would be adequate. I don't know, but and I agree. We need to get into our community spaces and offer some daycare. So thank you. Okay, can I get any other questions or comments? Stephanie Rice,
Yes.
I see your hand
Yes,
up.
if you don't mind. Yeah, I just wanted to add a few things through you, Mayor Bentley, to all members of the committee. Thank you for your support and recognition that we need additional daycare spaces. We absolutely do. We're not able to share the results yet. We're still waiting for the ministry to give us a move ahead or approval, but we are currently engaged in an access and inclusion and a targeted growth expansion plan within both Haldimand and Norfolk, as are all CMSMs in the province. And so we are working very hard on that. And through that plan, we needed to decide or determine targeted growth areas, the highest acuity needs all communities have need, but we did have to create some priorities within that list and provide that back to the ministry. So we're hopeful that within the next little bit, we'll have the news on what that looks like, and we'll be able to bring back information to share that. But absolutely, it isn't just about childcare spaces either. As you're probably well aware, there's a shortage of ECEs in our province, and so the recruitment and retention for qualified staff to care for the children who require the services and so on and so forth. So it's quite a top of mind commitment that we need to undertake in our communities, and we absolutely are doing that work. I just wanted to share that there'll be some more news coming soon on what that will look like through Haldimand and Norfolk, but the need is certainly not diminishing, and we expect it will continue to grow. So lots and lots of work ahead. But again, just wanted to thank you for your comments and for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. I see a few more in the queue here. Councillor Duffy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Chair. Through you, just a quick, quick question. So if I'm reading this correctly, it looks basically like we're kind of creating an extension to a current agreement. I guess my question is just very simply, are there any material changes to the from the current agreement to what we're entering into that you'll have to adapt to, or is it essentially maintaining status quo while we figure out what it's going to look like beyond 2024?
Through Mayor Bentley to Councillor, there are no changes that need to be made. It's essentially the same service that they would be continuing to provide.
Okay, thank you. We still have one more in the queue here. Go ahead, Councillor.
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. These are, I make little air quotes, right? Licensed daycare that we have 10 of. How many other spaces are available that I don't like to call them unlicensed, but they're legal legitimate, but they are different than the licensed daycares? And how many of those exist around the two counties?
Through Mayor Bentley to the councillor, we don't have a number because it's not regulated. There is no count. There's no means to capture that information. A lot of times unlicensed providers aren't. I know that in other communities there's been a reach out to inquire about that, and oftentimes unlicensed providers are not willing to come forward to identify themselves as being unlicensed. So it's really hard to gather that information. I don't have numbers on that. Just to provide a bit of context to the number 10, prior to COVID, we were in the process of recruitment, and we're up to 23 between the two counties. And unfortunately, when childcare centers were required to close, licensed home childcare in Haldimand and Norfolk were also required to close, and a number of those providers were not able to return to the field when they were permitted to reopen. So we have seen a decline, and recruitment has been a bit more of a challenge throughout the pandemic, but it is something that we're working with today's family on, and it is a high priority.
And then is it only licensed daycares that will be eligible for that $10 a day program through the province? Or are all the smaller ones included in that?
Only licensed childcare can apply to be part of the Canada-wide early learning and childcare system. Today's family, as a licensed operator, has enrolled in the Canada-wide early learning and childcare, and therefore they're, as a licensed home agency, any of the providers, the home providers that are contracted with them, are eligible for we call it CWELC, the CWELC system as well. They are considered part of that.
So then, to follow up on Linda's request, maybe it is time to do a little bit more of a media campaign to get that word out, that in order to be eligible for A, you've got to be enrolled in B, and get those spaces available to the public at that lower rate.
Absolutely.
We still operate on the grandpa daycare system at home, so
yeah, we do too.
my wife has an appointment booked for an hour of snuggling tomorrow, just so Mama can go lay down and get a break. Right?
That's great. Are there any further discussions on this report? Seeing none, can I get a mover to receive the report as information? I'm sorry. Do I have a mover out there?
I think Councillor Van Andrieschie is moving the report.
Oh, I can't even see that. Thank you very much. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you. Okay, I can see that. All in favor of the report being received? Thank you. Thank you very much for your report. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is subcommittee reports. I don't see any under there. Then under communications is Alpha's 2023 annual general meeting and conference. That's Article 9.1. Their discussion.
I can speak to it.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
To you, Madam Chair, to the advisory committee members. So this is a communication item from Alpha, which is Association of Local Public Health Agencies. They have an annual general meeting on June 13th and 14th in Toronto. So if advisory members are interested, you are welcome to let us know, and we'll coordinate the registration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody interested in going to this conference, AGM? Of course, I can't see the hands. So I'm sure we'll get back to you if anyone is interested. I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't see anything under other business. Does anybody have any other business they would like to discuss? Seeing none, there is nothing under closed sessions. The next meeting is scheduled for April 24th, 2023. Can I get a mover to, oh, sorry, Councillor Van Passen, go ahead.
Just backing up to the Alpha thing, Christina, do we need a motion to receive that as information? The communications?
I do believe so, yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you.
So
Can I get a
I'll
mover
move to receive it as information then, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Can I get a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Duffy. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Thank you for that. So can I get a mover to adjourn this meeting, please?
Always love to do those.
Oh, and a seconder. Thank you. All in favor of adjournment at 9:51. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Have
Thank
a
you
great
all.
day.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Enjoy your day. Thank you.